cricket with us as well. Let me begin with Shekhar Vijayan. Shekhar, before I come to some of the images and the sequence that explains how the stampede really occurred, why do you think that when a decision has been taken by the state authority that they will grant permission to RCB to hold this particular event in Bangalore, why would you have 21 gates but not really open up all of them, or have some sort of an idea of what kind of crowd one could possibly be expecting at such an event? Why is it that, and the reason why I asked that, Shekhar, is that there were two teams in the finals, right? It was known that either one of them will win. And that gives you, as the manager of the team, as well as some of the people within the state which you're representing. Had it been Punjab, I'm sure the Punjab team would have been in touch with the state administration beforehand. Some sort of preparation is made, right? That in case we win, this is what we're going to do. So I'm sure you're in the final of the IPL. You do have a realization that there's a 50-50% chance that you will win this. RCB wins. They decide that within 48 hours, they want to hold this major victory rally in Bangalore. It's a very emotional moment. We know how people feel about cricket in this country, and you're winning your maiden title, so you want to do that victory parade. It's a huge deal. So why do you think today in the FIR, RCB becomes the prime accused and the state government essentially just gets to wash away from any responsibility and accountability, when the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister, Shekhar Vijayan, wanted to be a part of the parade? They wanted to come and hold that trophy.
Absolutely, Devika. So, see, the fact of the matter is, they were caught like rabbits, caught in the middle of headlights, in the night. And the fact that there was no proactiveness shown by the state government, they ideally have to work with different stakeholders here. The fact that you mentioned there are so many gates which are not opened as yet, and we had a situation where at least around 3 lakh, hungry fans, eager fans were standing outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium waiting to get in, while the Chinnaswamy Stadium's capacity is around 35,000 odd people. That's the first thing. Second thing is, there was so much of a communication lapse. In a situation like this, you're playing a tournament which is so big, so popular, so paramount. There's so much of money, there's so much of stakes involved. You don't have a situation where anybody from the RCB team talks to the stadium and organizes and tells them that, we are coming in tomorrow. There needs to be security in place, there needs to be things in place in terms of fans coming in. When you know that RCB, there is a huge fan base for the Royal Challengers Bangalore team. They're winning a cup after 18 years. And the fan base is very strong, very loyal, very affectionate, very trusting. The fact that all this happens, and in spite of that, it looks like, it's such a shoddy job in terms of the preparation, in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of, the policemen being positioned, the number of policemen. You've got more policemen inside the stadium than outside the stadium. I have friends who had gone for this, and they had a very, very bad experience. There were people who went there because they wanted to experience this firsthand, in spite of a lot of people telling them not to go. The point is, WhatsApp groups were having a meltdown because people went in, there was a stampede which was happening in front of them, and things happened. But here, heads have to roll. There has to be accountability. There has to be responsibility. And you're talking about the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister. Even the statements they made were so insensitive. You have people who died. You have fans who passed away. You have a small girl who passed away. And at that time, you're congratulating the team and you're not talking about the person who passed away. You're not taking responsibility for it. I don't know what kind of character is the government showing here. Because here, there are multiple stakeholders involved in this. It's not just the state government. RCB is also involved. BCCI is also involved. And you also have different people involved in this when they know that the team is going to come in. And also the fact that so much of communication lapses there. There was a social media post which came out from RCB. There was a traffic advisory also which came out from the Karnataka government. And that kept changing. So people were confused. Where is it going to happen? Is it going to happen in Vidhan Sabha? Is it going to happen at Chinnaswamy Stadium? And we also know how Chinnaswamy Stadium is built. It is right in the center of Bangalore in terms of the location. You would know that there would always be a stampede there because it's a disaster waiting to happen. When you have 3 lakh plus people outside and you've got 25,000 people inside, It's a disaster waiting to happen. And there's no security which is managing it. How much more can they do? It is just not easy. It's just not paramount. What could have been done is having a disaster recovery program in place, preparation in place. I'm sure they knew that final is going to happen. They could have prepared this well in advance. It's not something which happens. You're not having a victory parade just because the team won yesterday or day before yesterday. They knew about this. They knew about this. See, we have seen victory parades happening for other teams too, but it's never been a problem. How come how come it becomes a problem in Bangalore? And why are people getting political mileage out of this? Why are the fans bearing the brunt of all this? If, for example, a VIP or a politician's son or a daughter, God forbid, if it would have happened to them, what would happen next? Things would change completely. But we are talking about a common man like you and me, who are getting affected, who are getting influenced with this. And this is the fan who's actually built the brand. This is a fan who has built the brand for the last 18 years. And the least the fan can expect is some love, some affection from the cricketers, from the board, from the government, for braving the heat, for braving the crowds, for braving everything in his family to come and see his superstars. And what does he or she get? Stampede, mismanagement, lathi charge, some even die, some are in the hospital, and you have a government which doesn't take responsibility. And this is what's going to be, I'm sure this is what's going to happen. The political parties will play off each other. They will keep blaming each other. Who ends up losing in this? The fans. The fans will end up losing, and that's the value of human life in India. It is very sad, and it's so ironical, Devika. We're talking about Bangalore. Bangalore is such an IT savvy city. We have got drones, we've got artificial intelligence, we've got so much of technology. Are you telling me that it can't be used? Are you telling me it's not been used earlier? Are you telling me that traffic has not been managed earlier? It has been managed. It has been done in the past. It's just a lack of will. It's just a lack of proactiveness. It's just a lack of foresight. It's just a lack of not preparing well in advance. They didn't prepare well in advance. They were caught like a rabbit in front of a headlight. They don't know what to do. Now they're blaming each other. At the end of the day, what has really happened here is, think about the children whose the parents whose children passed away. What did they do wrong? They had come to see their superstars, and they came with dreams in their eyes, and they go back as a dead body. It is so dastardly. It is so graphic. It is so gruesome. It is so bad. From the high of winning after 18 years to the situation where we are talking about the number of deaths, you can see from how high we have gone to how low we have come down to. But that is life. That is what has happened to all of us, because this is a situation which we all are facing right now. And I feel bad and I feel sad as a Bangalorean that this is what has come down to. That to a city which is so forward-looking, which is 30 years ahead of other cities. We never expect this from our city. We expect ownership, expect accountability, and expect responsibility.